Hi, I'm Mark Mitford with HR Catalyst. Today's Friday, so it's time for Mark's Friday 3 and 3, where I share three great HR tips with you in 3 minutes. So, with that, let's go and get started. Today, we wanted to focus on who is a legacy leader. And this may only be applicable for some of my audience, but I still wanted to mention this because this is really critical depending on where you are in the chapter of your leadership career and what type of a leader you are. So, the biggest thing is, I would say, in most cases, if you are somebody who's been leading a team for at least 10, maybe 15 plus years, this message is going to be really geared towards you. But at the end of the day, it's really going to be focused on what is a legacy leader and what is going to be your legacy around leadership. Because when you look at it, you want to have a strong impact. So that's the first time we want to talk about as a legacy leader is your strong impact is going to inspire and guide teams with a purpose that's really going to be future focused. And that's leaving a lasting mark on your organization and their community. I've had my own consulting firm for about 12 years now, but when I was in a corporate life and corporate career, for about 25 years of my career, it was interesting because sometimes I would hear for somebody in the organization if I had left them, and they would talk about something that I actually built or created that is still being used multiple years later. So that made me feel really good, of course. But that is kind of that mark of a legacy leader. It's not just what you do today, but it's if you do leave the organization, what are the marks you're leaving or those footprints you're leaving behind? So making sure those footprints leave a strong impact in the organization and they're bigger than just when you were there. The next item we wanted to talk about for a legacy leader is really focused around commitment and growth. You want to be focused on prioritizing and mentoring and mentorship and development of others. Investing in others, it creates this huge ripple effect. It's almost like if you dropped a pebble in a still pond, it's going to make a small splash, but then it's also going to ripple out and create these concentric circles. So if you're committing to grow people, you will actually find legacy leaders grow people, and that's kind of a mark of their legacy leadership. They will grow people to be successful, and in many cases, those people will go on to have careers as successful as that leader, but they may also actually be in a situation to where they are more successful than that leader ever was, which at the end of the day, if that occurred to me, and I was very blessed that it occurred to me a couple of times, that actually made it felt really good when I saw a LinkedIn post about this person who got this really big promotion. And I knew that I played a small part in that person's growth and development. So making sure that you're focused on others is really critical there. And the last thing we wanted to focus on is around your integrity and your core values. Because if you lead with integrity and your core values are somewhat of your moral compass, it's like not only what drives the organization, but it's also what drives you as an individual. And I consider that those individual core values is kind of somewhat of your moral compass. Legacy leaders can consistently demonstrate ethical behavior, and they uphold not only the core values of the company, but also their personal core values. So, what this does when you're leading people with those core values of yourself and the company, you're actually leading from a point where I would consider humility. And some of the best leaders in the world are actually very humble leaders, very quiet, but when they do speak, their words are very, very impactful to you. They're not screaming and yelling. They are listening primarily and being excellent listeners, but they lead from a point of humility. And they're also the other big thing here too is that they are others focused versus self focused. They lead from a point of this is not about me and this is not all about me. This is about you and what can I do to actually make you better as an employee? Because if you're better for the company and a better employee, that's not only going to benefit you as the leader, but it will also benefit the organization overall. So those are the 3 points I wanted to cover today from a legacy leadership perspective. So really challenge yourself to be thinking about what is going to be your legacy as a leader and start imparting that wisdom and knowledge and that mentorship on those around you and those that work for you. And I'll guarantee that'll make you a stronger leader in the future and for today. Thanks so much for listening. Take care, and we'll talk again soon. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk soon. Bye bye.